Welcome in then to the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for your questions. Aage Fjortoft joins us from home. Normally it's a hotel back room, but he's in Norway at the moment. Ali's with us as well, and Craig's in a weird mood. So what's...
But his pants are on, so
what's difference there? Yeah, so that's a bonus for everyone.
Nothing weird.
You are in a bit of a weird mood.
I'm not in a weird mood.
Yeah, you will.
I was extremely bored by those Champions League games today.
OK, well, good.
And I can't help that. What do you want me to do?
What do you
want me to do? Sitting watching games that were, apart from Man United, was like absolutely terrible.
Well, the United game was terrible.
Yeah,
yeah.
I said that.
You said apart from Man United were terrible.
No. I said they were terrible.
No, but you said I'm watching all these games apart from Man United, which was terrible.
No, watching all these games, it meant nothing. Apart from the Man United game, that's what I meant.
No, you didn't stay up.
You jumped in.
I didn't jump in. You'd finished the sentence.
So it was a bit of a dead rubber today. It was like sitting there going, oh my God.
Oh, well, tomorrow we've got a couple of games that matter at least.
The group of death.
Yeah, exactly. St James's Park. Jan's exciting. Craig, United lost. Craig's working, surprise, surprise. Is this the best case scenario for Ten Hag? With United completely out of Europe, can focus on training and the league. That's a nice way of looking at it, isn't it?
Yeah, very positive.
Yeah.
My schedule does say only come in.
Well, yeah, so then you come in and go, I'm bored of talking about Manchester United, which kind of defeats the object.
Have you noticed, Dan? I haven't been thinking of that, but Craig Burley is at ESPN exactly like the players are at Manchester United now. You can see his body language. You can see that you can see that he's trouble with the manager being you, and you know so much. So he'll probably be suspended, and he can only come back when he apologizes to you. Craig Burley is a Manchester United player of TV.
Yes. Yeah, a Craig Burley apology. Goodness me, that'd be a collector's item.
That's not coming.
I think there's more likely a Jadon Sancho apology in there.
Yeah, that's the next question. For all, do you think it's truly fair to judge Ten Hag by the United standards of 20 years ago and not by the standards that have been left to fester over the last decade? What do you think, Jan? Are we being too harsh on Ten Hag? Expectations too high?
At least you weren't harsh on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, so to be fair, no, you were as well. But you see that maybe in another picture now. But I think that in general, it's hard to always compare it with the 90s. And we discussed that at the show before. You can't do that all the time because it was different. You had Sir Alex Ferguson being up there, maybe the best manager ever in English football. So that you shouldn't be compared with. I think what Ten Hag could be compared with is Ten Hag. Because you have to see a team going out there, you have to see a progress. Yes, he did okay in his first season, absolutely. But now you can't see anything. You can't see it. And the different thing is that when you see Manchester City, when you see Liverpool, when you see Aston Villa, when you see Tottenham, you see there are a team going out there. You see what they try to do. Do they succeed all the time? No, they lose games. And when Pochettino had the players out, he couldn't get the result. But you still see what they try to do. And I've been an advocate for Ten Hag. I think that his background, he was in Bayern Munich, he had a German background, he then went to Ajax and now to Manchester United. Great background for a Manchester United manager. But still, he has put Anthony there. He has put Onana in. He has to stand up for that. And he also has to stand up for the way they are playing at the moment because you can't see a pattern and you can't see what they try to do.
It's a bit like saying Jurgen Klopp shouldn't take the Liverpool job because, he's going to be judged on what Liverpool did in the great sides of the 80s and winning the European Cup. Well, you don't take the job then.
Right.
And it's not easy, but, you back yourself. And we're not judging Man United against Ferguson's teams. We're judging Man United against the others in the Premier League at this current time. It's the only thing he has to judge himself against. Not the past, the present.
And Copenhagen and Galatasaray.
And those teams.
And if you're going to judge yourself against yourself, then do it against last year, where with a similar group of players, you were seeing those steps that were, at the very least, a reason to believe that maybe, just maybe, this team was going in the right direction. What you don't want to see is steps going back. And that's, I think, what's become very clear this season. And so, yes, it is fair to judge Erik Ten Hag because, well, that's a responsibility of the position that comes with the territory of being the manager of Manchester United and the expectations that come with being the manager of this club, and also with the fact that you because of how well you did in the first year. You generated expectations of your own, and you haven't been able to deliver.
I remember sitting here when Ralph Rangnick was manager, interim, albeit, and saying, Ralph Rangnick needs to out some of these players.
Yeah.
He needs to out them publicly. And people were saying, well, no, he can't because he doesn't have the power. He's the interim manager, and they're just going to fold like a pack of cards and not try for him. Well, Ten Hag's got and has had an element of power. And there's no point sitting protecting these players going, oh, we played quite well today.
Yeah, but he's got his problems. Martial and Rashford just happened to be ill on the same day.
It's amazing two players that have been his biggest problem, all of a sudden both were ill for
something going round.
The biggest Champions League game. Again, they might be ill, I don't know. But if it's not an illness and they're either injured or he just doesn't want them around, just come out and say it. If that's the case, just come out and say, do you know what? I decided...
But he did that with Jadon Sancho and it hasn't really helped, has it?
Listen, how's it gone from otherwise?
Well, not great.
So you might as well die in your sword here. Don't, come out, say, instead of saying today and after Bournemouth, you come out and say, listen, this ain't good enough. I take the blame, but let me tell you this, I'll be letting the players know this is unacceptable. Don't cover for them. Don't even try and cover for them. This group of players are not worth it. They're not worth it. They've shown that to other managers. So don't try and cover for them. If you're going to go down swinging.
Where's Ralph Rangnick these days, Jan? What's he up to?
And I'll tell you that because it's quite interesting, because Ralph Rangnick's speciality is to build clubs. He has done it in a lot of clubs. He has done it in Leipzig. He has done it in the whole Red Bull atmosphere or the sphere of them. Now he went to Austria. He got all in charge of everything in Austrian FA, and he's got them to the Euros. So playing brilliant football. His last result was to beat Germany 2-0.
Is he the manager?
He's the manager or national coach, and he is everything.
Wow.
He's the builder of the FA, and he's not a bad guy. And some of the analysis he did after his time at Manchester United, talking about Craig's analysis, Rangnick did the same, and he said it's spot on what was needed to be done, and nothing has been done, and here we are.
Who's the best coach between Ten Hag and Pochettino, Jan?
Well, first we have to define. I understand the question, but you have to define what is a good manager. For me, as a good manager, firstly, that you make your players better. Two, that you can see how a team wants to play, and then of course results. The results is based on a lot of things. At the moment, I will say it's a draw.
Wow.
You big fence-sitting Norwegian.
No, but what will you say? What
waffle for a draw?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, who will you put in? Will you say, I got a club, Craig Burley, I will take a club now, I got two candidates, I will have them as a manager. Who will you bring in? Then you can't bring him on what is happening this season. Then you will think, who has been better to kind of develop players? I guess we will then say Pochettino, based on what he did at Tottenham, because Ten Hag did it at Ajax, of course, but still Tottenham is a better treat to do that. Or do you disagree, Craig? Or will you still go for a draw and extra time?
I didn't ask you for a second answer.
Who's your answer?
I don't like either of them.
But you've got to give me an answer.
Pochettino.
Ali?
And I don't like either of them.
Right.
Pochettino.
Right.
At the very least, Pochettino, in his statements to the media, seems to be closer to the truth than Ten Hag.
He's coming up with some waffle at the moment.
Well, I said closer. I didn't say the truth. I said closer. Closer.
So the latest one was the big, tall players. Did you see it yesterday?
I did see tall players, yeah, which made me think of Xavi and Iniesta.
And Messi and Cannavaro.
Yeah, exactly.
Tall players, small players, more players, less players.
Yeah.
How many players? Gordon Strachan said something similar.
Oh, yeah?
Scott with the national team a few years ago. Don't want to get it wrong for the wee man, but he said something of similar vein and was wholly pounded for it in the media.
Especially as he's smaller than me.
Oh, well, that's a lot.
No, he is.
Brighter.
Pardon?
Sorry.
Well, he's got brighter hair.
You're taller than Seb, though, right?
Yes, I'm taller than Seb because Seb has a quiff and elevated heels.
Is he with those big, big soles?
Yeah, Ricky Gervais style. Right, where are we? This is an interesting question. Jan, What's more humbling, losing by a huge margin or losing while the other team is almost having a training session of keeping possession?
Yeah, that's sometimes I've been playing for some clubs that didn't have a lot of possession, and then you can end up never touch the ball. I remember once when Norway played Denmark back in maybe back in the 80s, and I'm talking about the 1980s, no, 1880s, but it's a long time ago. And I remember that was a team with Laudrup, Poulsen, and the great Danish teams. And I remember we were 2-0 down at home, and we got a 2-1, and we thought, this is it. And I was shouting, boys, 5 minutes to go. We can still make it. And then Denmark just had the ball for 5 minutes. We never touched the ball again. I mean, that is so embarrassing. That is so frustrating to be a part of those games.
What's worse?
I think losing by a huge margin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if a team is laying it around, there's always an opportunity to at least go and make a tackle.
Yeah.
But once you're 6 or 7 down, or maybe worse, there's nothing you can do about it.
How about when you're being
What's your record, boys?
By your own fans?
Yeah, ole from your own fans can't be good.
Ole by your own fans, or that they take off one of the other team's star player and your fans give them a standing ovation. Yeah. So I participated in a few of those.
Oh, Venezuela.
Against Brazil at home.
That'll do it.
That got ugly.
Okay.
Remember one of the stupidest decisions Jim Smith, maybe not Jim Smith, ever made?
Signing you?
No, maybe. It was probably the club. They decided to play Barcelona in a pre-season friendly.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And we're like, who the hell's decision was this? And we were 3-0 down after, I think, 15 minutes and hadn't seen the ball.
Right.
It was like, and the amount of people that were putting hands up who suddenly had a hamstring problem or a groin problem was scary.
Get me out of here. Okay, let's play hypotheticals, Jan. What position would Leverkusen be in the Premier League?
Based on Bayern beating Manchester United. Oh, this is a good question. I will say that as Leverkusen is the only team now in the top 5 leagues who haven't lost, I will say they will be
PSV?
third.
The PSV not count?
Nah, they're not in it. Don't be stupid.
No, they're not top 5 league. Don't top 5 league.
Okay.
I'll tell you where they'll be.
Third. I think it's third.
Third?
I was going to say third or fourth.
Third? Third or fourth?
Yeah.
I think below them would be the answer to the next question, Ali, is where would Barcelona be?
You're correct. Below Leverkusen.
I think they'd be mid-table almost, wouldn't they?
I wouldn't say mid-table. They'd be above teams like Manchester United.
That's true. That's true.
I say that much. And with the injuries that Spurs have had, they'd be ahead of Spurs.
Right.
But once Spurs got healthy,
Yeah.
Because guess what? Spurs likes to run. And you know what Barcelona cannot do defensively? Run.
Or defend.
Yes. Or defend, period. Barcelona, and they haven't been all that great with their possession either, which is their hallmark, is what they do best.
Right.
That's not quite the case these days. And so if they cannot control the pace of the game and you get in a back and forth, Barcelona are going to have a difficult time.
Craig, what position would PSG be in the Premier League?
Ooh.
Is that the same question within a question?
Yes, there were 3 different questions, and I separated them so we wouldn't get them muddled.
Jeez.
Look at the disdain when we talk about PSG.
I mean, PSG... So where would Bayer Leverkusen be?
So we got them third, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
Barca... I don't know, PSG... Fifth? I don't know, fifth.
Fifth, there we go. Right, good. Final question. With Chiellini retiring today, have the guys played with someone who's always happy and cheerful no matter what? The opposite. Chiellini just seemed to always have a smile on his face whenever he was playing. He's very nice when he came on the show. Do you remember when he came on?
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Lovely.
But Chiellini is that guy, you know, with the films, the guy who is assassin. What do you say is in English when you go around and you have a mission to do something with people, and you're still smiling.
Silent assassin,
Chiellini,
yeah.
Exactly, and Chiellini is that kind of guy, a fantastic defender, a fantastic ambassador of our sport, and he's kind of a born winner. But sometimes as a striker, when you play against these smiling defenders, it still hurts. It still hurts.
When did he come on the show? I must have missed that.
It was probably a tactical decision. Why is he on? What do we want to talk to him for?
Was it here? Or was it one of these remotes?
No, it was remote. It was a remote job, yeah.
So he wasn't really on the show, really.
You think if everyone on here, Xhaka has to be very much in this category.
Of what?
Of smiling, happy all the time. Look, he's smiling when he collapsed. He's always happy. He's always smiling.
Well, he knew he was getting time off. You know, he loves his time off. As he was going down, he went, I got 3 months here. Magic, somebody's going to have to cover for me.
Oh, and you broke his nose.
Exactly. He's fine. We can laugh.
You
it's
broke
fine.
his nose.
Don't worry.
You horrible people. He's all right.
Who did you play that was happy all the time?
We were all happy.
You weren't.
We were. You know why? Good dressing rooms.
Right.
Yeah. It's fun to go in. Can you imagine like Man United dressing room?
Yeah, I know. Imagine.
Chelsea dressing room.
Yeah, that's what Stevie always say. Like successful dressing rooms seem to be happy dressing rooms.
Yeah, and I can only imagine going into Chelsea and Man United, 2 of the big clubs that are just a mismatch of players. But going into good dressing rooms is fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's just fun to go in every day and train and play.
Right.
I'm not a naturally happy guy.
No, that's true.
Right, so I don't know that I can actually relate to this, but I would say in the case of Manchester United, if you're indeed a naturally happy guy that is excited about the opportunity of playing Manchester United, whatever the case may be, you just like doing what you're doing for a living. How do you feel now? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, but you're kind of going away from, like, you play with Stuart Holden, and when I've met him, he's been happy, but you seem to want to kick him more than socialise with him.
Because Stewie was annoying.
Well, because he was happy.
Just sit there and be quiet. No, because he's a younger player.
Yeah.
First-year player, and he's like, hey, bouncing off the walls.
Happy. I knew.
Bouncing off the walls. I don't know. Sit down. I'm not talking to you just yet, because you don't know if this guy's actually a good player or not. And I don't relate to the younger guys unless they prove that they can actually do something on the field. And then we can start talking.
It's tough.
No, it's part of growing up in a locker room.
Can you imagine Al when a young kid comes in and smiling, loving his game, and Al will just slowly tell him, stop smiling and produce football. That's what you're going to do here.
You're not here to smile.
No.
Well, smile when you've earned it. Smile when you've earned it.
Oh, what a lovely...
I'll be much smiling tomorrow.
Why not? What's wrong with tomorrow?
Yeah, I've just got a bad feeling about it.
All right, good. We will be back tomorrow.
Oh, yes, we will.
Join us. We'll be reflecting on Newcastle against Milan.